Hi everybody, I'm Dawn. I'm your astrologer and I'm here to talk to you about the full moon in Taurus, which happens on the 19th of November. This is a very amplified full moon because it's also a partial lunar eclipse. And even though it's a partial lunar eclipse, it is very potent, powerful energy because it is occurring very close to the transiting nodes, the north node of destiny, the south node of the past that we're releasing. So during this lunation, the moon will be at 27 degrees of Taurus, opposing the sun at 27 degrees of Scorpio. We are in Scorpio season, so the sun is still transiting Scorpio. And the north node of destiny is transiting Gemini and is at 1 degree of Gemini. And so this amplifies the potency of this lunar eclipse, even though it's partial, because it's within 4 degrees from the north node. It's what we call an out of sign conjunction, because even though they're only 4 degrees apart, the moon is at 27 degrees of Taurus and the north node of destiny is at 1 degree of Gemini. So very closely conjunct. So this amplifies the energy. Excuse me. And in fact, this energy will last much longer than a regular full moon. In fact, it will play out over the next 6 months. We will really see the truth of the messages being revealed during this time. 6 months from now, when we have a lunar eclipse at 26 degrees of Scorpio in May. And so we are going to be playing out in this energetic message that's unfolding. And I will tell you, this is a very active time, especially for the fixed signs. I believe we have 7 planets, 7 out of 10 in fixed signs during this lunation. And this is an energy that is asking us to break free. In fact, eclipses always eclipse something out of our lives, remove something out of our path in order to accelerate our growth, in order to propel us into our future. And in the case of Taurus, the moon in Taurus during this full moon partial lunar eclipse, this really accelerates our ability to attract abundance, all of those Taurus themes, those Venusian themes. Venus is the ruler of Taurus and the ruler of this full moon. This is something that will be removed from our path, taken off the table for our best and highest good, so that we can be propelled into our destiny, our future, in alignment with it. Now, I'll tell you, it's a wild card. It could feel very chaotic. If we can try our best to see the blessings from the breakthrough energies, because Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, this very rebellious, volatile, liberating, explosive energy, is transiting the sign of Taurus and is at 12 degrees. And it is in an opposition to Mars, the planet of war, at 13 degrees of Scorpio, moving with the sun, moving with Mercury through the sign of Scorpio during this full moon partial lunar eclipse. And Mars, the god of war, in an opposition to Uranus, could really manifest in 2 very extreme ways. In fact, this opposition was exact on the 17th and is still very tightly in effect during the full moon. And so Mars can be our planet of power and action and drive and impassioned movement when it comes to acting on our truth, that very thing that Mercury and the sun has been busy shining a light on, hidden in the Scorpio depths, the depths of our psyche, our emotional depths, those corridors that we suppress everything into. And now the sun is shining a light in those dark, kind of scary places. And Mars is our ability to move through those fears, to move through those shadow parts with action, with power, with courage. And in this opposition to Uranus and Taurus, to make some practical, tangible really radical shifts. And so we want to be very mindful of the energy that we are operating in, because this is a two-edged sword. You know, Mars is the planet of our ego drive. And with this warrior energy and this rebel energy and this opposition, it can be breakthrough, it can be breakdown. Ultimately, it serves to bring a blessing, okay? And so the radical shifts that we are being asked to act on are based on the truths that we are facing regarding who we are on a deep psychological, emotional level, and how we want to act in accordance with our values. Venus, the ruler of Taurus. And so we can use this energy for a very positive expression of putting things into motion, standing in our values, standing up for our boundaries and what we believe is the truth. In an opposition to Uranus, it can come out really explosively. And so we want to be really mindful to operate in the highest energy, to always check our ego during this. Well, anytime, but especially during this eclipse. Because an eclipse full moon is a totally different vibration. In fact, you know, this is not a full moon where you want to charge your crystals, because this is an energy of an ending, of a culmination, of something being eclipsed and removed from our lives. And so it would be, you know, self-defeating to try to charge our crystals under the energy of this lunation. So we want to wait until the next one to do that. So a couple of ways that this full moon is different. One, the energy plays out for at least 6 months, and we will see by May, when that lunar eclipse happens in Scorpio at 26 degrees, we will see these themes start to materialize, start to make sense, because by then the North Node that's transiting through Gemini will have moved into Taurus. So from the conversation and the ideas and the air energy and the mind, and the North Node of Destiny will have moved into Taurus, the physical, the material. By then, these messages will be more clear, because the thought takes form, the ideas materialize in a physical, tangible reality. And so this clarity is coming. It's a lengthy process. So a couple of really good things about this lunation is that the moon will be in a trine to Pluto in Capricorn, where Venus is transiting. Pluto is now direct. And Capricorn is the structures of our everyday lives. And the moon rules our emotions. So this is allowing us to really emotionally understand how powerful it is to let go of the things of the past that no longer serve our best and highest good. This is a strengthening, harmonious, supportive aspect between Pluto, the lord of the underworld, the ruler of Scorpio, where the sun is, and Venus transiting there, which is the ruler of Taurus, where the moon is. And so it's a power play of really aligning with our emotional values. What do we value in terms of romance, resources, love, money, abundance in our everyday lives? And what from the past are we really finally ready to let be removed, to end, to go away? Also, this Taurus full moon, we have the sun and the moon both squaring Jupiter and Aquarius. Now, Uranus is in Taurus, and Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. And so here is the moon in Taurus squaring Aquarius, and Uranus, which is the ruler of Aquarius, is over there with the moon. And then we have the sun and Scorpio in a square to Jupiter at 24 degrees of Scorpio. In fact, Jupiter is at 24 degrees of Aquarius, and Pluto is at 24 degrees of Capricorn. And so these two squares from both luminaries, the sun and the moon, create a very tense aspect called a T-square. Now, Jupiter is known to be the planet of blessings, of luck, of expansion, especially in terms of creating new structures for our future, moving into that future, into the age of Aquarius. However, with this tense T-square aspect from both luminaries during the eclipse full moon, this could expand a lot of the climate of chaos. This could expand our Mars acting on the truth that we're discovering. You know, we could have a lot of disclosure globally. Personally, we can find out some hidden truths within our own selves, about ourselves. And this could play out on a much larger scale. And so when we have this in a T-square to Jupiter, Jupiter expands everything that it touches, you know, good, bad, or otherwise, ultimately to bring blessings. And so, you know, with this T-square, it could expand our reaction. It could also expand our ability to do a radical shift, to break through and do something differently, because it's also in a square to the moon in Taurus. And the moon ruling our emotions, it could be an emotional breakthrough. We could be ready to finally release some past attachment to a power dynamic with money, to a love relationship that no longer aligns with our values. So it can serve us to expand our ability to break through and expand our ability to break down in the form of, you know, overreacting. And so we want to, again, be very mindful of this energy. There's so much going on right now in the astrology that it's real important, you know, to lean to those attributes of Taurus, the grounded earth sign. In fact, I think there's 4 planets in earth signs, 4 planets in water signs during this lunation. And so it's really about grounding into our intuition, into our physical body, into our senses, into our emotions, so that we can discern these things that we are seeing in the dark of Scorpio, these things that are being illuminated, that we are being challenged to face, and the fears that we are being given the support to move through in order to execute this radical shift, to create a tangible, physical, touchable abundance for our future. And this is the energy that all of the eclipses will be happening in for the next 18 months. So we're getting a really big dose of it right now. We still have another final eclipse in Sagittarius on December the 4th. And then after that, the nodal North Node will move into Gemini, South Node out of Gemini into Taurus, South Node will move out of Sagittarius into Scorpio. And then all of the eclipses from that point on for the next 18 months will be in either Taurus or Scorpio. This has been kind of an unusual ending to an eclipse season when we have these out of axis lunations and eclipses. But it is a very intense, exciting time of liberation, breakthrough, shifting into action to operate in accordance to our values, to our personal truth. And Venus also, by the way, during this lunation, and she's the ruler of the full moon. Venus is in Capricorn and will be in a very harmonious communication in a trine to Uranus in Taurus. So she is trining this radical game changer, the great awakener, our cosmic mind, our genius mind, Venus, our values, how we draw abundance to us, is in a harmonious trine to Uranus during this full moon. And so this really encourages us to be able to shift our mindset in a real way, you know, not just an idea, but to physically do it. Taurus and Venus are the physical body, the physical senses. So we can embody these liberating shifts, and we're really supported with this harmonious trine. Also, that Uranian energy, you know, is opposing Mars in Scorpio, and that is still at play. And so Venus and Mars are these cosmic lovers. And so, you know, it's about taking action, but perhaps making our action be graceful and peaceful, if at all possible. Yet still, you know, standing in our power, having those appropriate boundaries, and letting go of the part that no longer serves us. So this is a radical time, a lot going on. We are getting a glimpse of 2022 right now, of the energy that we are moving into. And Taurus is, what do I have that's mine? And Scorpio is, how do we share our resources to connect on a deeper level, to create communion, community. It's beyond community. It's a communion between this sharing of the deepest parts of who we are. And so we're, you know, vacillating between these two opposites. And hopefully we can create, you know, some type of synchronistic flow here moving forward, and learn that what we have is ultimately best when we can share it with others. What value is it if we just have it to hold and we can't share that joy and that love with anyone else? And so it's about our relationships to money, our relationships to our own hidden truth and emotions, our relationships and our ability to connect on a deep, intimate, personal level in our love relationships. And, you know, with this T-square to Jupiter and Aquarius, it's also about how do we expand that and incorporate that into humanity, into the community. And so I think one of the big things that we will see during this full moon is really who our tribe is. I think it will become crystal clear as some things are eclipsed out, because we are ready to act with that Mars energy. We are ready to move through our fears and say, you know, I am not in accordance with your values, and I honor where you are, but our inner tribe, our chosen family, that is, you know, something that we get to act on out of free will. And I think that is one of the blessings that will come from, has the potential to come from this eclipse, is we will really see what the truth is in our personal relationships to money, to love, and how we share that with others. These dynamics, the truth of them will play out. And there could be a lot of other really big global things that come out with this that have to do with economics, with money, with banking, all those things that Taurus rules, and Capricorn, where Venus, the ruler of Taurus, is transiting. And with Uranus there in a T-square, you know, these are Earth events. This could play out globally in some pretty shocking, chaotic ways. But just know that ultimately it is to prepare us for our future and to liberate us in our truth. And so I wish you all just the happiest of full moon blessings and eclipse season blessings. And if I can be of service in any way, and you want to take a look at where these things are in your personal chart, what houses they fall in, what they're aspecting, and how it more personally is impacting you, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I will see you on the new moon. Bye-bye.